What's up, guys? It's a great day to be part of the Dirt Life. Today, I'm super excited to be with you with Liam, the co-founder of Yard Dawgs Lawn Care, and we're going to be chatting and showing you our presentation from the 2023 Landscape Summit Conference in Kentucky with Mike Andes. It was so much fun doing that.
It was great. We presented in front of about 500 people. We rehearsed it so many times, probably a good 5 to 10 hours of rehearsing it. Profit sharing and then delivering your promise. What's delivering your promise? Whatever, it's fun.
Absolutely. So guys, we gotta smell smart. We gotta work hard, yes, but
For history, I'm gonna pass it back to James here. I recommend you guys watch the whole thing. If you guys wanna watch it at 2x speed, go for it. But we talked about sales, a bit about profit sharing, and a bit about financial. So please watch the whole thing. Hopefully you guys can take away a lot and implement it right into your business and have some good takeaways.
Oh my gosh, what's going on, guys? You guys excited to be here?
Let's go.
Can I see a hands up if you're just fired up right now? Yeah, lots of you. Can I see a hands up if you're kind of waiting for that coffee to kick in? Still a few there? No worries, guys. After this presentation, you're not gonna need that second cup of coffee, I promise you that. Man, that was some deep stuff. Like, I thought I knew my slides coming up here, then Brian's talking about marriage and stuff. I'm thinking about my wife, my 3 kids. I'm like, oh my gosh. Hope I don't fall over here, but we're so excited to be here. And with me today is my best friend that I've known since kindergarten, Liam.
Hey guys, how's it going? So my name is Liam, 28 years old. We're so excited to be here. We are counting this day down for the past 30 days. We're we cannot wait for Landscape Summit. Our entire team, we are so excited. It's been our dream to present to you guys. And let's give a big round of applause to Brian for that awesome presentation. It was a great change of pace. But yeah, let's give him a round of applause there. Awesome. All right. So we have some really exciting stuff to talk to you guys about today. So we've grown to about 4,500 customers. That's what we're going to be talking to you guys about. We've made a lot of mistakes, a lot of growing pains. There's been a lot of ups and downs. So I really hope that you guys are going to take away a few good key things that you can implement into your business there. We're going to be talking about a lot of cool things. So number one, we're going to go over our history, how we started. We were doing absolutely everything. Then we're going to talk about the sales, how we mastered sales. And then we're going to get into the profit sharing, financial statements, and then stay tuned to the very, very end because we have the number one secret. If you guys all want to grow your business, stay tuned to the very end there.
All right, guys, so a quick trip down memory lane here. It all went back to 2014. Look at those baby faces there. So what happened is that after my first year of university, I got my tuition bill and I said to myself, oh shit, I got to do something about this. So I remember thinking, okay, I got invited to this lawn care conference where there was a company that would give you a machine called an aerator and you'd go door to door with this thing. And I remember sitting there and they're talking about you get a 30% commission, people pay you $50 a house, etc. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay. So 30% commission, got it. But if I'm doing all of the sales, and I'm doing all of the work, I kind of want 100% commission, you know? The only thing stopping me from doing this is, we were talking about constraints yesterday, liquidity. I needed to get this machine, and at the time, it was about $3,000. And I didn't have $3,000, but I had my buddy Liam that I've known since kindergarten, so gave him a call. I was like, ring, ring.
Yo, what's up, man?
Hey, man, what are you up to this summer?
I just work at McDonald's, just gonna rip the summertime job and see how it goes.
Sounds good. Listen, I think I got something better here. So there's this machine called an aerator. I have no idea what this thing does. Puts holes in the ground. It looks like there's turds everywhere. But they'll pay about $50 a house. You just want to buy this machine with me? We'll go door to door with it.
Absolutely, man. I'm in. Quinn, today, let's do it.
Sounds good. See you later. That's pretty much how the call went. And we were literally in business. March 30th, 2014, that was my birthday. The aerator arrived. And what was the strategy? I don't know. Let's just start going door to door with it. Oh my gosh, we were so bad. We didn't know what to say. We were stuttering every third word. We didn't know how to sell, but we also didn't know how to give up. We kept going at it. And over time, we started to get just a little bit better as time went on. We weren't always Yard Dawgs, though. It was J&L Lawn Care, James and Liam Lawn Care. We had the logo. We thought we were going to be racking in the millions, and that did not happen. In fact, 4 days into actually doing services, we're at a place, Liam's aerating, I'm just doing a bit more sales, and a woman comes out to us and she says, James, I just want to thank you so much for the work you're doing. I'm like, no worries at all. We're good to go. She's like, no, but seriously, thank you. It's just good to see a big turnaround. Good for you. I'm like, no worries. Thank you for hiring us. But she was persistent. She went on to say, you know what, I got to say, good for you, James. You obviously had a really rough start in life, but you really took the bull by the horns and made the most out of it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, JL Lawn Care, JL Lawn Care. You guys are ex-convicts, right? I mean, wait, jail what? That's actually what you think? So like we're driving away from the job. I'm like, oh my gosh, they think we're like community service workers. We need a new name. So that night at the dinner table with Liam's mom, we're all just spitballing ideas back and forth. I think somebody said Yard and somebody said Dogs. Yard Dawgs, yes, that's what we're gonna call ourselves. And we are in business. But we needed a strategy, and honestly, this was the only strategy we knew. We would just do work. People would ask us, do you do services? We would say yes. We would agree on a price. We'd go home and YouTube what the heck we just agreed to and show up the next day to do it. We talked a little bit about that this morning, and it literally looked like, hi there, do you guys do power raking? Yeah, we do. How much do you charge? 110. When can you do it? Tomorrow. Sounds good. Go home, YouTube. What is power raking? Oh, it's this machine that rakes the lawn very fast. How about $5,000? Oh, but there's one on Marketplace for $2,000. Oh, but he lives 3 hours away. But call him. He might meet you halfway, but it's 11 p.m. I'll just call him anyways. And that's literally how we started our business, guys. Like, we met the guy at 1 a.m., brought the machine back home to mom and dad's, practiced on the lawn, and we were there the next day to do the job. But it got a little bit out of hand. Tell us about it, Liam.
Yeah, absolutely. So things were getting out of hand. That was like a mild understatement. This right here, if you guys can see, this was our first van right there. That was a 1995 Toyota Previa, hand-me-down from Jimmy's parents. It had no muffler, no exhaust. It sounded like an airplane. It looked like a full spaceship driving around the city of Calgary. We got so many eyeballs, but not the right type of eyeballs. It was like the eyeballs like, get the hell out of my city. Like, this is a disgrace. It was the most funniest thing ever. These ladders right here, we were doing absolutely every service. So we couldn't fit the ladders into the van because the ladders were just too big. So we had to like inject them into like the sunroof, and it looked like an army tank going out. So that was our first van. This is like, we were just first year university, just doing whatever it could really do to get by. But as Jimmy was talking about, we were just doing everything. We were doing lawn care, decks, patio pavers, concrete, like artificial turf. We were bidding on $140,000 fence jobs we had no idea how to do. We were doing 60 grand paver patio jobs. We were even trying to get on a proposal to do a commercial highway for $1 million. Oh,
in that red van.
in that red van. That's how out of control it actually was. So anyway, long story short, no one knew what we were doing. It was just two guys just doing basically anything to get cash, right? And our brand was not being recognized for anything. It was just like, yeah, Yard Dawgs, they do this, they do that, they do absolutely everything. And with that being said though too, we weren't getting good at anything. We were just mediocre at basically everything, just taking any money that people would pay us. So at this point, 2018, 2019, roughly about 4 or 5 years ago, this is like the summary. We were a jack of all trades, but a master of none. This was our services. I remember in my day, I would go to our website and like on the top header, it was like our services. And I would click on that and it would just drop down to the ground. Like every service was like on our website, including all of these. At this point right here, we were doing $400,000 of revenue. It was a bit of some dark days because we had no systems, no niche, no scalability. To top that all off too, this guy right here was freshly married. I was dating a girl. We were about to get married probably in the next year, who's like now my wife right now. We had to get our stuff together. We thought, okay, we gotta get this together. There's absolutely no way that we can just continue how it's going like right now, trying to support a marriage, have kids, etc.
My wife's like, so like, I want to stay home with the kids. You're cool with that? I'm like, yeah. She's like, you can support us, right? I'm like, yeah. Like, I'll figure it out. Don't worry. Me with Liam, like, we gotta figure this out.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I really want to emphasize this point because we knew that what we were doing was not working. We were doing all those services above right there, right? And it was very scary. And I'm a big math guy. I absolutely love numbers. So I was like, okay, I know that we got to niche in. I know that we got to choose like a couple services and really just go hard with that. But I was like thinking, okay, we're doing $400,000 worth of revenue, offering all these services. If we were to take away 70, 80% of our services, we're going to be doing like maybe $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 worth of revenue. Maybe we're 20% profitable. What, we're going to make, what, 10 grand each in a year? You think we're going to be able to like support a marriage with that, right? So long story short though, our intuition was right. We had to make that move. We had to absolutely axe out all of these services. So currently, right now, we are just specializing in fertilizer, weed control, aeration, seeding. Right now, we're currently doing slightly over 2 million revenue with about 70% fewer services. So one great saying is you grow by saying no. Mike talked about this earlier on. More services isn't always better. I know it's kind of like our intuition, more services, more leads. We can do this, we're gonna grow so big, we're gonna have all these excavators. It's not the right thing to do if you really wanna grow. All the biggest companies, they niche in on 1, 2, or 3 things. They get really, really good at that, and then that's how they grow their business. How many of you guys here have read The Pumpkin Plan by Mike Michalowicz? Couple, so I can't really see, but I think about maybe 10 to 20 people. This book right here really changed our mind. If you guys are just starting out, maybe under 500 grand, I would highly recommend you guys read this book. It's awesome. Basically what it is Mike Michalowicz, he talks about pumpkin farming. He's like, there's pumpkins, they can grow to like the size almost of like this like roof, like this screen like right here, like massive pumpkins. And he's like, okay, like how do pumpkins get actually like that big? Usually they're just like, you know, the size of like this, right? So what they did a study, and basically to grow the biggest pumpkin, you lay all the seeds, you water everything, and then whatever pumpkins are growing the best, you put all your resources, all your nutrients towards that one pumpkin. All the weeds right beside those pumpkins, you pull them out. You're only focusing on that one. That is how you grow these master big pumpkins. So relate the pumpkin to like your business, right? If we're just doing everything, chasing all the pumpkins, watering all the pumpkins, and our attention is scattered everywhere, it's very, very tough to grow. One other great book too was Traction by Gino Wickman. So he had a great saying that, okay, if you take all, like if you go outside, the sun right now is basically got infinite energy, right? However, if I was to go and try to start a fire outside, if I was trying to be like an outdoorsman and hold up this piece of paper, trying to start a fire, I would look like an idiot. People would be like, what are you doing? However, if I hold up this piece of paper and then take a magnifying glass and harness that sun's infinite energy onto this one part of the piece of paper, I can start a fire. So essentially what he's getting at is really focus, 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 and that is how you're going to be able to scale your business there. So once we figured out, okay, it's going to be fertilizer, weed control, aeration, seeding, this right here is how we used to track our customers. It was on pen and paper, and it was on using Excel. I would highly recommend that, guys, if you guys are just starting off, if it's in your first, second, third year, like this is literally like screenshots from like what we used to have. It's okay to do at the start, but it's not the right way to grow the business. Please make sure that you guys are using a CRM. There's Copilot, Real Green, HubSpot, etc., etc. Just choose one, master it, and choose a CRM over just using pen and paper. All right, Jimbo, carry on with the sales.
So once you've got your niche and once you have a solid software to build a foundation, you've got to learn how to sell those leads that you're getting. Now, some of these are going to be just a little bit of a refresher for you, but we have some great stuff and we're fanatical about sales. If you have a funnel with those leaky leads, you got to solve that before you focus on getting more leads, essentially. So I've got 4 game changers for you that you can implement as soon as tomorrow to get this going in your business, and I promise you take any one of these, it will revolutionize the way that you sell. Let's start with my favorite, and perhaps the most important, speed to lead. Oh, I love this one. All right, let's get into it. So it's more important than your script. It's more important than your tone. It's even more important than your pricing. Because if you have a lead and you can't get on the phone with them, it is very rare they're ever going to call you back or actually make this sale. And it's the time in which it takes you to call a lead. Believe it or not, over 90% of your leads will answer the phone if you call them within not an hour, not 30 minutes, 30 seconds. People have microwave thinking, and when they submit that form on your website, guess what? They submitted the form on 2 of your competitors' websites as well. And whoever reaches out to that client first most likely has the highest probability that they're going to close them. And our lives are busy, guys. Like, the second they finish that form, the baby starts crying, their boss calls them, you know, all this stuff's going on, and grass isn't at the top of their mind anymore, so we got to captivate that in the moment. And at our company, we are fanatical about speed to lead. This is the dream at our future office. Every single time a lead comes in, the radar goes off, like the watches are buzzing us, and like the phone texts are going on, saying, speed to lead, who's got, like, Veronica, you're calling that person? Okay, let's go, we got to get on the phone ASAP. So we've made a company that is obsessed with reaching out to people as quickly as possible when they submit a lead during business hours. A text that goes to all of our sales reps on their phones, and we build a culture that is obsessed with getting somebody on the phone as soon as possible. When we submit a form, we don't like to wait around. Like, we're interested in talking to someone right now. Be the person that companies. You want people to answer the phone saying, were you guys the guys that I just submitted this like 10 seconds ago? Yes, it is. We take care of our clients. How can I help you out today? It builds professionalism, and it gets them on the phone. Game changer number 2, guys. We talked a little about this already, but we're going to take it up a notch. So urgency, scarcity, and assumptive-based selling. When you use all 3 of these together, it is crazy effective how effective it can be. So right away, a quick refresher. Urgency is a limit of time, and scarcity is a limit of units, and assumptive-based selling just makes it easy for the client to say yes. So always have an end date on your promotions. The offer ends on September 1st, and always have X amount of capacity that you can take on so that you can verbalize this to the person. Hey, the promotion ends on September 1st. I only have 7 spots left. And always have something going on. Have a Black Friday sale, a Christmas special. You have an early bird season, a mid-season pricing. Always have a new promotion going on so that you can be ethical about this and always have a legit end date and X amount of capacity. A good way to figure this out, guys, is truly ask yourself, if I was to get 1 million leads tomorrow, could I serve them all? No. How many clients could I actually serve in the next month? There's your number for scarcity. Work down from there and use that to your advantage of sales calls. And before, we didn't always do this, guys. Our prepay season in 2021, we had no deadline, no limit, and just a money goal. And we did about $200,000, and it took us 2 months, and we were shelling discounts left, right, and center. Last year, we put a 1-month deadline on it. People had to prepay within the 1 month of promotion, and there's only 600 spots left, and people went crazy. $250,000 in 15 days, and we gave out less than half of the same discounts, just because we gave people a reason to buy now and not wait for it and think about it. You guys ever heard of this though? I'm gonna think about it. I need to talk to the boss. I just need some time. I'm gonna compare prices. Let me sleep on it, and then I'll get back to you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest with each other. How often do they get back to you? Almost never. Like, yes, once in a blue moon, but people are just so scared to say no. And we're in Canada. People are so polite. They say, yeah, I'm going to call you for sure, and then they ghost you, and they're gone. Like, you're off the phone, they are gone. So this is where assumptive-based selling comes in. It's the most powerful way to overcome these kind of objections. So on a call, you want to tell them how busy you've been. So when you answer the phone and they ask you, there's always some small talk, they ask you how you're doing. You don't say you're doing fine. You don't say you're doing good. You say, hey, I'm doing great, although I cannot believe how busy it's been. How are you doing today? And the person will think, oh wow, James is a busy guy. Maybe instead of talking about my grandkids and my dog for the next 15 minutes, I should probably talk about the dandelions. That's why I'm calling him in the first place. You throw in your sales pitch using urgency and scarcity we talked about before, and inevitably sometimes an objection is going to come up. I need to talk to my wife and I'll get back to you. When they say that, you need to remind them how busy you've been and that you only have X spots left in the current pricing. It looks a little bit something like this, guys. Ring, ring. Good afternoon. Thank you for calling Yard Dawgs. My name is James. How can I help you out today?
Yeah, hey Jimbo, how's it going today?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic, although I can't believe how busy it's been. How are you doing?
Hey, been pretty good. Well, I'll cut right to the chase there. Just need a quote for fertilizer, weed control, front lawn, back lawn.
Oh, sure thing. Let's get right into it then. I'm probably just going to talk to you about our Golden Retriever program right now. I see your address here. I can see it's 2,000 square feet. So our Golden Retriever would be great for you. It's going to give you season-long fertilizer, unlimited weed control, and a deep core aeration there. And it looks like the price normally is $339, but with the current promotion we have that ends this Friday, I have 11 spots left for $279. I have about 45 more calls I need to make today. Is that something that you'd be interested in?
Yeah, most likely. Just got to get my quotes though and just check with the wife and then kind of go from there.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, the only thing is I only have those 11 spots left before that price goes up. How about we just do this? I'm going to put you down for this Golden Retriever program just for the sake of holding your spot. I'm going to send you an email with the details and go over it with your wife, and if the two of you decide to not go ahead with that, no worries at all. Just please pay me the courtesy of letting me know, but at least this way I can get you into the schedule.
So if I want to cancel, can I still cancel?
Of course you can. Please let us know. I just need a Visa or MasterCard to hold the spot there, essentially. Would you prefer Visa or MasterCard?
Visa.
Sounds great.
Done.
So guys, I realize that's scripted, but you'd be surprised how many of the calls actually go there if you are leading the call and you are a busy guy on the phone and you set the stage with the tonality there. Why does this work though? Human nature. Guys, this is all psychological. Like, the easiest thing for human beings to do is nothing. And I'm going to put nothing in their court. They now have to get back to me before if they don't want us to come out to their house anymore. And you have all the leverage because you got the credit card over the phone. If you don't have the credit card, they still have the leverage, and you don't want to be going to houses to service them only to realize you still have to get the invoice and all that stuff done. And by the way, at the end of this presentation, like we mentioned, we have an absolute game changer that where you can use this human psychology, like this human nature, to your advantage to actually grow your business, almost guaranteed year over year. We're going to get to that pretty soon. Next game changer number 3, follow-up sequences. All right, so Inevitably, we have leads that don't answer the phone. We have people that we will do all three of those things, but they still need to think about it or chat with their wife, etc. And that's okay, but you need to have a plan of action to do so. So, ever heard of Grant Cardone here? The money's in the fortune's in the follow-up. Like we all hear all the time. That was a terrible accent, I'm sorry, Canadian, you know. But this is a guy that really shows you that it's not about that first contact sometimes. You gotta be relentless at reaching out to people. And we know these three channels, calling, email, and texting. And at Yard Dawgs, we use a combination of call reminders, automated emails, and automated texts. Not manual text, guys. We aren't writing these out. We've pre-made the sequence, and it happens all automatically, so that if we don't get a hold of someone, on that day they get an email. On the next day, we're gonna get a call reminder to follow up with them. We're gonna email them, and it all happens automatically there. That is how we're able to send thousands of emails in less than 5 minutes at our company, and there's no lead that goes untouched. We work them, we work them. But people usually ask me, okay, James, like, but how much is enough? Honestly, until you start hearing shut up, F off, get a life, grass man, you are not calling people enough. And guys, I logged over 5,000 calls this past season. I can count less than 10 that actually would say this kind of stuff to me. In fact, what I hear way more often is, James, thank you so much for being so persistent with me. My life's been so crazy, but I really appreciate you calling me again. I'll go ahead with that St. Bernard program. Until you guys are literally having people tell you to stop calling them, you should do this. Because we, at our company, if we can't get a hold of someone, in the next 10 days, we're gonna call them 5 times. We're gonna send them 2 text messages, and we will email them 6 times. We truly believe that people are so busy with their lives, and it is our job. They didn't inquire on our website. It is our job to reach out until we have the opportunity to chat with them and get a yes or a no. Not replying to us, giving us maybes doesn't cut it. I need a yes or a no. Of course, guys, respect people's privacies. If someone tells you to stop calling them, unsubscribe them from your list there. And use texting to get on the phone, not just to sell them there. A big thing, who here owns an iPhone? Do you ever have that feeling when you text someone and it shows up as green? Kind of in your stomach there, you know? I found the same thing as with texting there, when in fact we have our sales SMS for sending out text messages, and when I would text someone from my cell and it was blue, the likelihood they reply to me is almost 4 times greater because they actually associate that with a real person. So I recommend getting iPads for your office or working from a Mac with an extra phone number to utilize the texting there. But game changer number 4, upsells and cross-selling. And this is so important, especially later on in the season, once the leads from the spring start to dry up. And here's why. So first of all, if you have lawn care, upsell cross-sells might be pest control services. If I've sold you a fantastic pasta, it pairs very nicely with this type of wine. It completes the program, it completes the meal, and it's so important here. These are our actual numbers, guys, for this past year. You can see the leads skyrocketed in May, and then it slowly tapers off. It's trending down quickly. Now, but look at that, guys. Our sales stayed relatively constant during the June, July, and the August. And like, how should that be possible? Less leads should equal less money, right? But they don't. When leads go down, it's time to up the selling to existing customers. And you do this by providing them more value. So we do this through service recommendations. It's when we are on the property and we notice X, Y, Z, we need to tell that to the customer. We are their lawn care professionals. We'd be doing them a disservice if we didn't mention things. It's a service recommendation. But folks, let me ask you a question. Who is the most qualified person at your company to provide these recommendations? Can I see a show of hands if it's the salesperson? It's not the salesperson, guys. Show me a show of hands if you think it's your customer service reps. It's not the customer service reps. So if it's not either of those two, who could it be? The technicians, I heard it there. It is the frontline workers, the people that are actually bringing in the production. They are the face of the company. They are Yard Dawgs. And our customers trust them because they are the ones that are physically there. They saw it with their own eyes, and they should be the ones to relay that information to the customer. So we train all of our technicians to know how to sell and provide these recommendations in a professional manner. And it's as easy as, hey, I noticed that your round is very lumpy and compacted here. I think we should do a liquid aeration for you in the fall. Do you want me to add that to your account? And it's that easy because we already have their credit card and file. We already have their account going. It's a simple thing that's adding to their service there. Now, obviously, sometimes customers aren't home, so we make sure there's a very strong communication channel between the salesperson as well as the technicians there. We use Microsoft Teams and an iPad, and then when I call someone, it's as easy as, hey, Mrs. Jones, so like Stephen was at your property earlier today. He knows he has some chinch bugs in that area. I just wanted to talk to you about what he mentioned there, and he wanted to provide you a recommendation of the chinch bug program. The sale is so different when you approach it like that, and they trust what you're recommending. But of course, be legit about it. Don't just make up things. Oh yeah, you need this, you need this. Make sure it's a true recommendation and incentivize your technicians. Get them going. Make sure there's a commission structure for them. Make sure that you have a weekly bonus for who's recommending the most, essentially. And that 1 day speed to lead. This one, you have about a day to reach out to the person to make sure it's still relevant in that case. So a quick recap of the 4 game changer, guys. We got speed to lead. That's how fast we call somebody after they submit a form. 2, utilize an urgency, scarcity, and assumptive-based selling in your closing process. Sequences for reaching out to people over time. And last but not least, getting your technicians to sell along the way. But guys, what's the point of selling and increasing revenue if you're not actually profitable? And Liam's going to talk to you about that right now.
All right, thanks, Jimbo. Okay, so who here, with a show of hands, watched our business boot camp? Good. It's probably about like maybe a quarter of the people here. That's good. Okay, so as you guys probably saw, in 2022, we did over $1 million of revenue, and like that might sound really good. Wow, you guys made it. No, we did not. We had our worst year ever. It was awful. We call it like the disaster season. We had no idea what the heck we were doing. We had no idea about the numbers. It was just feel-good accounting. It was like, okay, I'm going to just check the bank balance. Okay, there's positive cash. Doesn't matter if that's a liability on the balance sheet or if it's an earned revenue. It was just, there's cash in the bank. We were good to go. So we learned some really hard lessons. I'm actually very thankful for like last year because it really taught us some good lessons, but it was tough. So one great solution that we've like implemented this year is profit sharing. I'm just going to run you guys through it just quickly, but there's a lot of benefits, especially to really start to know your numbers. That's one of the most important things. Profit sharing, the first benefit is the owner and the employees, they're pulling in the exact same direction. That is awesome. So if the company is doing really, really good, the employees are going to be getting a bonus check every single month. The second thing is that it holds you as an owner to do accurate monthly financial statements. It shouldn't be quarterly, it shouldn't be yearly, it should be every single month. End of the month, boom, financial statement done, and then you share it with your team. And thirdly, it was a great team building opportunity. We got donuts, coffee, everything, and it was awesome. Get everyone back on track, same mission, and just go over the goals again. I'm going to run through, though, because when I first started the profit sharing, I was just wondering, like, how do we actually do it? Like, it sounds really cool, it sounds awesome, but what's the actual, like, nuts and bolts behind it? So I'm just going to run through kind of what worked for us personally. There might be better ways of doing this, but this is what worked for us at Yard Dawgs. I'm just going to share this with you guys. So first and foremost is that you have to make a conservative but realistic budget. This is not going to be something that's crazy ambitious with, like, 50% net profit. It's going to be conservative but doable. So make sure you do that. We just built ours on Excel. Like, this is literally like our budget for like this year. Our revenue, gross profit, and then net profit. So we would do this. Step number 2 is that at the end of every single month, we would compare the actual versus the budgeted. And this is where I said that point number 2, this will force you to make sure your financials are actually accurate. Step 3, if you exceeded the profit goal, that is when you actually reward your team. So I'll run through just a brief example. Let's say in August, we budgeted up $250,000 in profit. We killed it. We got $350,000. It was an awesome month. Therefore, that difference in the profit, the delta, the difference, $350 minus $250 is $100,000 in additional profit. You take 10% on that additional, which is $10,000. You guys follow me so far for the math? Yeah. And then take that $10,000, you divide that by your employees who are eligible. So in this case right here, if you had 10 employees, and $10,000, everyone would get a $1,000 bonus at the end of the month. So it was awesome. And to be eligible, it was number 1, never be late. Number 2, no core value strikes. Throughout the entire 2022, like last season, we probably had 15 to 20 no-shows, like guys just not showing up, not texting. This last season, since we implemented the profit sharing, we only had 1 no-show in 2023. The employees were so ecstatic about it. We're going to have a lot more employee retention because of the profit sharing. It really kept everything on track. So if you guys have not implemented, I would really highly consider implementing this. All right, guys, without further ado, we have that one awesome secret. Who's excited to hear that? All right, Jimbo.
You guys excited, or should we just end right now? You want to hear it? All right, guys. So check this out. This is huge. You guys remember this slide? We're talking about human nature. The easiest thing for the human being to do is nothing. Well, let's play this to our advantage in growing our businesses. Guys, what do all these companies have in common? They're massive, but what's something they have in common? Their subscriptions. Their services auto-renew. In fact, you are opted in until you opt out, and people don't like to do anything, so they stay opted in. But why don't we do this for our businesses every single year? In fact, some of the biggest lawn care companies in the world over the past decades have been doing this, guys, and they don't want you to know about it, except for Augusta. They're fantastic. But the big guys, they don't want you to know this. We implemented this past year, and the results were dramatic, guys. Instead of starting at 0 clients next year, start at 100% of your clients and slowly work down as people opt out over time. And the way that we say it is, for your convenience, our services continue year over year unless you let us know. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the first time I ever said that, I was shaking. I thought they were gonna hang up and call the cops on me, but it didn't happen. What they said, and 99% of people said was, okay, sounds good. And say like that for the majority of the time throughout the season there. So we do this after every single sales call. All pre and post service emails mention it, and the frequently asked questions page as well. It's all over the place. And think about it, we actually appreciate when companies do this for us. I don't want my internet guy calling me every month on the first saying, hey James, do you want internet this month? I'm like, yes, I want internet a month. Stop calling me. As long as we do a good job and we're transparent that we do it, people don't mind it there. So we did this right away. Our retention rate went from 51%, which is not good, to 78% in 1 year, working way less in the winter. So sometimes, guys, in lawn care, you just got to do less to do a little bit better. And you guys work too hard. You work too hard to have to restart your business from scratch every single year. So give the continuous service a try there. Gotta say again, guys, this was such a blessing to be able to speak with you today. This is a dream come true for us. We have a YouTube channel called The Dirt Life. If you liked any of the things that we were talking about today, please give us a subscribe. We pump this stuff to you weekly. But beyond that, guys, thank you so much for this opportunity, and we'll see you around.
Thank you, guys. Go. Great job, man. You're awesome.